Hi everyone, and welcome back to Smarty Panthers. Today, we're exploring one of the trickiest parts of the 11 Plus exam, non-verbal reasoning. Now, non-verbal reasoning can feel a bit strange at first. There aren't words or long passages to read. It's all about shapes, patterns, and logic. And while the questions are designed to test your problem-solving skills, not what you already know, you can definitely get better at them with practice. The more you practice, the quicker and calmer you'll be in the real exam. In this lesson, we're going to focus on one type of non-verbal reasoning question, odd one out. I'll show you 3 worked examples, step by step, and then I'll give you a 4th one to try on your own. Make sure you've got a pen and paper ready. And remember, you can always pause the video before I reveal the answers so you can have a go yourself. So what exactly is an odd one out question? Well, you'll be given 4 or 5 shapes or figures, and your task is to decide which one doesn't follow the same pattern as the others. Easy, right? Except not always. The examiners are clever. They make all the images look pretty similar, so at first glance, it's not obvious which one is different. That's why the key is to slow down, take a breath, and check through the features step by step until the difference pops out. Let's start with example 1, which we'll call the arrows puzzle. This is a relatively simple one. On the page, you'll see 5 arrows. They all look like arrows, but each one is slightly different. Your job? Figure out which is the odd one out. Now, how do we begin? We look at the features. Features are the things that might change from one shape to another. That could be shape, length, direction, number of shapes, position, color or shading, rotation, whether the shape is inside, outside, or overlapping another shape. That's a lot of possibilities, but don't worry. You don't need to check them all every time. Just work through the most obvious ones first. Back to the arrows. Let's check the length. We've got 3 medium length arrows and 2 shorter ones. That means length isn't the deciding feature because there's no single arrow that's unique. Next, look at color. Some arrowheads are filled black, some are white. We've got 3 black and 2 white. Again, no single odd one out. How about direction? 4 arrows are pointing down, but 1 is pointing up. That's it. Option B is the odd one out because it's the only one pointing up. Tip: in the exam, it's easy to panic if the answer doesn't jump out right away. But if you take a calm, methodical approach, length, color, direction, you'll usually find the answer in under a minute. Let's now move on to puzzle 2. We'll make this one a little trickier. Remember, if you want to try to get the right answer before it's revealed, pause the video. Here we've got 5 large shapes: a circle, a rectangle, a pentagon, a triangle, and a diamond. Each big shape has 2 smaller shapes sitting with it, 1 black and 1 white. At first glance, you might think the question is about matching the small shapes with the big ones, circles with circles, pentagons with pentagons, and so on. But if you study them all, you'll notice there isn't a large shape that breaks that rule. So that can't be our answer. Maybe it's about the colors. Each option has 1 black shape and 1 white shape, so again, there's no odd one out there. How about position? Maybe there is a pattern in how the smaller shapes are positioned. On shape A, the small circles are bottom. On B, there is 1 rectangle in the top left and 1 on the right. No obvious pattern so far. Let's move on. The pentagon is next. There is a small shape in the top right and 1 at the bottom. Again, we can't really see an obvious pattern, so let's keep going. The triangle has shapes on the left and bottom left. You'll notice that 3 out of 4 so far have shapes on the bottom, so let's keep that in mind as we check the 5th shape. The diamond, in this question, has smaller shapes on the top left and top right, not the bottom. So smaller shapes sitting at the bottom of the larger shapes, in this case, isn't the key feature we are looking for. So we need to have a look at another factor. Here's another feature to check: layering. Look closely. In options A, B, C, and D, 1 small shape sits in front of the big shape and the other sits behind. But in option E, both small shapes are in front. That makes E the odd one out. Tip: when you're stuck, ask yourself, could the feature be about what's in front or behind? Layering is an easy detail to miss, but it shows up a lot in odd one out questions. Now let's turn it up a notch with example 3, which is a mixture of shapes and patterns. This example, as you can see, looks much busier. Each figure has a grey blob, a white circle, an arrow, and several black triangles. There's a lot happening here, so if the answer doesn't jump out at you right away, the best approach is to be systematic. First, let's check the big grey and white parts. Different shapes, but there is nothing that stands out as unique. Next, let's look at these arrows and see if that can give us some clues. Each arrow points in a different direction, but again, there is no single odd one out. Okay, let's examine triangles now. We'll begin by counting them. Some shapes have 3, some 4, some 5. But is there a clear rule? Not yet. So let's check where the triangles are positioned. Are they on the grey part or the white part of the shape? On option A, there's 1 triangle on white and 2 on grey. On option B, there are 2 on white and 1 on grey. On option C, 2 on white, 2 on grey. On option D, 1 on white, 2 on grey. On option E, 3 on white, 2 on grey. Let's focus just on the grey parts. A has 2 triangles on grey, B has 1, C has 2, D has 2, and E has 2. Aha! B is the odd one out, because it's the only figure with just 1 triangle on the grey. Here is a tip for you. Sometimes you'll find the answer on your first check, but other times you'll only spot it after working through several features. Don't give up too early. Stay patient and keep ticking off features until the odd one reveals itself. Now it's your turn. Let's give you a puzzle to solve and see if you can spot the odd one out. Press pause on this puzzle for about 30 to 60 seconds and see if you can answer it. Choose the option you think is correct and then press play again to find out if you were right. Before you pause, here are a few quick reminders. First, look for what the shapes have in common before you hunt for differences. Second, check one feature at a time, like size, colour, number, position, direction, or layering. Third, remember that 4 shapes usually follow the same rule, and only one should break it. Finally, stay calm and take your time. The difference might be tiny. Now press pause and give it a try. Ready to check the answer? Each figure has a grey moon. The moons are rotated differently, but they are all basically the same. Each figure also has exactly 2 stars, so counting stars will not help. But if you look closely, in option D, one of the stars has only 4 points, while all the others have 5. That tiny detail makes D the odd one out. So the correct answer is D. Did you spot it? Well done if you did, but don't worry if you didn't. Remember, these puzzles take practice. So, what have we learned today? Odd one out questions might look simple at first, but they're all about careful thinking and attention to detail. The challenge is to find the rule that most of the shapes follow, and then identify the one shape that breaks it. The first step is to stay calm and methodical. It's easy to feel a rush of panic if the answer doesn't leap out straight away, but panicking only wastes time. Instead, take a deep breath and remind yourself that there is a pattern. You just need to uncover it. Start by checking the obvious features. Look for changes in shape, size, colour, or direction. These are often the easiest clues. If that doesn't work, move on to trickier ones like layering, position, or rotation. And always use the golden rule. 4 shapes should follow the same pattern, and only one should be different. That's how you know you've got the right answer. The more you practice these puzzles, the faster you'll get at spotting patterns. At first, you might need to go feature by feature, but over time, your brain learns to pick up clues almost instantly. That's what makes practice so powerful. It builds both speed and confidence. Thanks for watching Smarty Panthers. If your child is just beginning their 11 plus journey in Year 4, make sure to download our Parent Starter Guide. It's packed with advice, tips, and resources to help families build strong study habits right from the start. You'll find the link in the video description, and while you're here, explore more on our channel. You'll discover fun puzzle challenges, practical step-by-step videos that guide children through tricky question types, and even animated stories that sharpen vocabulary skills in a really engaging way. Everything is designed to help your child grow in confidence and get exam ready.